see. Now to kind of stave off a bit of the aspect of boring as I wait for some folks to start coming online. If they come online. Otherwise I got other fun things I can pull off for you guys. Give you a tour of our current house. And anyone that is a fan, has been playing, even just reads articles about housing, is a very touchy topic when it comes to Final Fantasy XIV. Mostly because the best way I can describe it is that you seriously have a situation where the demand entirely outweighs the supply. And that is to say, housing is not like it was in 11 or what you might be used to in other games where it could be just instanced. It's all here. As you can see, I'm standing in the front yard of our house right now. And so there's only so many houses for this neighborhood. And so now, it used to start out where we only had so many. Then they added more what they call wards, which is multiples of what you see right now on the screen for this map. And then from there they kind of added a mirroring subdivision so that it's, you know, even more housing. But even with all that, the supply is just not there. So there's still a lot of people that don't really get to have a house. And the downside of that is that there are some system specific things that depend on having a house. And a lot of that has to do with like free companies, because free companies can have their own crafted airships, and there's a whole other set of rewards that can come from that. And that's the downer, is that there's not really too much of a binding restriction on who can have houses and how many houses they can have and all that kind of thing. So you have people that have their own personal house, a free company house, and now apartments. That's another one that's come up, which is actually really nice. If anyone played 11, it's a lot like Mog houses, because as opposed to it being like what you see here, where there's just a house, you know, and you can walk up to it. Oh, that's really pretty, and you can decorate the outside of it. You can't really decorate anything on the outside of an apartment, but it is just a room that you zone into, which is kind of like a copycat on what they have for free company housing, because free company houses like this, you know, the one that exists static, permanent in the environment, when you go in, those free company houses, people's guilds, they can have extra rooms inside that also pretty much function like apartments. But they introduced apartments for people that aren't in a free company that has a house, don't necessarily want to be in a free company that has a house like that, and it's just like their own little place to call home. And they're very affordable, much more affordable than housing was, even though housing prices have really been high up. They used to be really gross prices, and it was not all even pricing. Higher population worlds, or legacy worlds is what they used to refer to as. Those used to have really high prices, but now it's been evened out. So that's one of the main reasons that we have the house that we have now. And so,
Hi.
hey, who's there? Oh, it's Raw-Sinn.
Yeah.
Yes, welcome back.
Hey. Yeah.
Oh man, so Raw-Sinn was on last night. If anybody hasn't heard from that broadcast, probably haven't. It's the first one. Raw-Sinn's a really solid player. Definitely someone that you could probably take a page out of their book, and he does it well, especially tanking. I don't know why he likes tanking so much, but to each his own. But we thank you. So let's see here. Sticky there. Alright. So this is kind of the house we've been working on. It's kind of funny. At first it was kind of wondering, oh, how should we decorate it, yada yada. But then, like any game that you may have had before with housing, especially Star Wars Galaxies, if you were a part of that fun ride, some custom ideas come up. And so that was kind of my fiance's idea to kind of slap together what's downstairs here. And I'm really proud of her. It actually turned out really nice. I didn't really do much in the way of actually designing so much as I did just making couches, because I love crafting. And so, kind of nice to have a little hangout spot. We almost wish it was the free company house at this point. But kind of being able to make all the random different things here has been really nice. Especially this fish tank. Not that it's super hard to make. But having made it was great, especially considering how much money you could sell for. But hey, we just got like one huge fish in there. Look at him. That's our fish. Anyway, gonna branch off of that. Going over to Raw-Sinn. Raw-Sinn, what are you down for tonight?
Anything.
Anything?
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. Alright, anything. Alright, we're getting people in. And Lavender's in a party. She's doing a hunt? Yeah, it looks like a hunt to me. Anyway. You want me to go ahead and invite you right away?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can do. Gonna change up the music a little bit. Probably can't hear it all that well in the stream, but I can hear it just fine in my ear right now. Which is another thing. Anyone watching, please, by all means, feel free to chime in on the chat. We do make it a point to really connect with you guys, and if it sounds like crap, let me know. Because we have a repeat of like last night where, you know, people can really only hear me and I'm clashing against the game and no one can hear anyone else for like 30 minutes. So hopefully that's not happening now, because I'm kind of taking notes as I go to make sure I'm not making the same mistakes. What do we want? That'll do for me. Alright, so anyway, without totally going into a full-blown guide on houses, because I don't want this to be a complete snore fest for houses, I'll just kind of move on to it. My favorite space, which is my apartment, and it's kind of nice. Because especially now, since Stormblood has launched, one of their selling points was that, hey, inventory is like the key word, because we're going to increase how much inventory space and yada yada you can have. And one of the spaces that they increased was how many slots you have as a maximum limit for furnishings within and outside of a home, including inside of an apartment. So that got doubled. So before I was tapped out and it was a pretty basic look. Now, still kind of basic. But I have room to play if I want. But I've always liked this kind of darker, I like dark colors, everything like that, so let me kind of turn off that UI for you. And you can kind of get a good glimpse at my little boat, which is probably piping hot. Considering and making the assumption that we don't have air conditioning in our backwater town here, all these candles are probably not helping, but they look really cool to me. So, I'm going to roll with it. And when I streamed originally, this is where I used to kind of sit and hang out. Oh my god, you scared the hell out of me. I was in first person, I didn't even see you there. Well done. Put a bell around your neck. Jesus. But I used to go AFK in here, and my old stream, I would just kind of leave my guy sitting here in front of the fire as an overlay, like, oh, he's just chilling because I went grocery shopping or something, but I won't be doing that to you guys. So, whew, unless you prefer that. That could be a thing.